Images like these are clearly used to display wealth, status and power, and allow a distinction to be made between the seemingly extraordinary royalty and the commoners. In the past, kings and queens were thought to be assigned to their privileged position by God, so much so that they were thought to have different blood to everyone else. In the past, it was believed that the royal family had blue blood, which set them apart from those with dark-coloured skin and those living in poverty. This concept has been explored in the popular film Stardust.
Only he of royal blood can restore the ruby, and the one of you that does so shall be the new king of Stormhold.
The firstborn of Stormhold, I demand that you bring it to me. Bring me the stone, now! I promise, don't touch anything they give you. They tried to put... The last brother then? Which means the no king.
Tristan. The last surviving male heir of the Stormhold bloodline. It's you, Tristan.
I crown thee King Tristan of Stormhold.
However, since the beginning of the industrial period, the notion of the divine right of kings has disappeared and made way for more rational thought processes. Politicians have also taken over many of the roles which would have, in the past, been taken up by the crown. This begs the question of how the royals remain in their privileged position and why, even to this day, they remain so popular. The key to answering this conundrum lies in the ordinary presentation of the royal family. Billig suggests that interest in the royal family is sustained daily through the media. One way the appearance of ordinariness is achieved is through images of members of the royal family going about their daily lives in settings purposefully set up to look natural and seemingly unplanned. This caught-off-guard look reaffirms the fact that they are human and just like any other ordinary person. When interviewing people about the royal family, Billig found that many respondents recognised that they were normal after all. After an encounter with Princess Margaret, one interviewee said, "Margaret turned right round and she waved and she said, 'What a beautiful baby,' you know, just like a normal person would." Although Nern points out that suggesting the royals are normal after all suggests they were previously special in some way. The marrying of so-called commoners into the royal family has added to the display of ordinariness. Kate Middleton was described as a commoner based on her family background. Kate's mum Carol grew up in a very working-class household and she herself was an air hostess for British Airways. Kate Middleton's grandfather was also a coal miner, although the degree to which Kate can be regarded as a commoner is questionable. Kate Middleton's parents both own a multi-million-pound mailing business and live in a £6 million mansion. Kate also attended St Andrews, a private school where she met Prince William. Her father also has ties with the British aristocracy and benefits from the trust funds. This framing of Kate as a commoner adds to the illusion of ordinariness within the royal family and means that the public are better able to identify with and relate to the royal family. Heather Nunn argues that this touch of populism is much more tolerable in contemporary society. Another way ordinariness is portrayed within the royal family is through their involvement with various charities, including an organisation called Heads Together.
To cope, really, and I put that down to your really early years, childhood experience, but also the relationship that you've got. You're amazingly close, and yes, you know.
Most of the time.
No, but it's and some families sadly aren't as lucky as you guys have been, and being able to share things.
But we have been brought closer because of the circumstances as well. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You are, uniquely bonded because of what we've been through.
Yeah.
But even her and I, over the years, have not talked enough about our mother. We've
never enough.
Has doing this campaign sort of made you realise that?
I think so. I always thought to myself, what's the point in bringing up the past? What's the point in bringing up something that's only going to make you sad? It ain't going to change it. It ain't going to bring her back. And when you start thinking like that, it can be really damaging. And you always said to me, you've got to sit down and think about those memories. But for me, it was like, don't want to think about it.
Yeah. But I think what was happened with us and must happen with others as well is that you've had to prioritise.
This video in particular presents him as very down to earth and very aware of the issues that many face. Their relaxed body language, casual clothing, and the informal environment which this clip is filmed in adds to the display of ordinariness. However, their involvement in public affairs is strictly limited. For instance, Kate Middleton wasn't able to engage with the Time's Up movement when attending the BAFTAs. This is because the royals are discouraged from engaging in political issues. It shows that there is a clear boundary between their involvement in populist discourse and their duty as royals. There is very little interest from academics on the royal family, as they are not seen as problematic. However, Andrew Morton argues that the public's dismissal in the royals' immense wealth is an academic puzzle in itself. Many academics believe that there is a strong link between the public's acceptance of economic and social inequality and the popularity of the monarchy. The reproduction of the status quo of inequality is illustrated in an episode of The Crown.
Birthday portraits should evolve and mature with age. Like the subject, show change in the character, complexity, reality.
No one wants complexity and reality from us. Do sit down. People have enough of that in their own lives. They want us to help them escape.
Indeed, Your Majesty. Imagine this, if you will. A young woman, a commonplace creature, she sits in her drab little scullery. So much work to do, so much washing up. How she longs for comfort, for hope. And again, 1, 2, 3, and flash. She wants to believe her life has some meaning beyond chores. She opens a magazine, and she sees Her Royal Highness's photograph. For one glorious transforming moment, she becomes a princess too. She is lifted out of her miserable, pitiful reality into a fantasy. Later, she will step out of her house in a new neckerchief, perhaps, for which she has saved. Oh, she will hold her head up high. She is renewed. And all thanks to you, Your Royal Highness, and to the ideal which you represent.
One interviewee from Billig's research replicated the same ideas from the Crown clip. The interviewee said that we need a fairy story in order to be able to cope with the everyday drudge. Sarah Ahmed argues that this false sense of happiness that is created by the royals is a disciplinary technique which makes people believe they are self-reliant and empowered, when in reality it is often not the case. Also, the fact that their whole life is governed by rules and regulations but still remain ordinary people justifies their privileges. Billig argues that this is a type of double declaiming, whereby it is implied that money doesn't bring happiness and therefore reassures people without fortune. Therefore, the monarchy can't be considered in isolation, but should be studied within the context of inequality.